Peace, family. Shalom, shalom. As I've stated in the previous video, I'm going to be reading from the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 68th verse. Now, from Deuteronomy 28, verses 1 through 14, it gives the list of the blessings that we will receive if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, Yahweh, which is the name of the God of the Holy Bible, okay? The God of Israel specifically. If we keep those laws, statutes, and commandments, there's going to be several blessings that fall upon us as a nation of people. However, if we do not keep those laws, statutes, and commandments, then there are going to be a list of curses, which start at verse 15, Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, all the way down to verse 68. Now, just to give you a brief, we have to understand that the book was written by a certain group of people with a national history and heritage, and it is addressed to a certain people group. This is not a book about a general religious affiliation, you guys. We just got to let that idea go. The book actually lists certain words, and it says certain words like pedigree, nation, genealogy, and heritage, which alludes to a specific people group and not just a religious affiliation, okay? So go ahead and turn to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, or pull it up on your Google. And I'm going to be explaining a few of the concepts in here as I read, and then I'll go over the verse and read it again just so that it can be comprehensive, okay? So here we go. It's Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord, and in the Hebrew Bible, the Lord, where it's spelled in all caps, would be the name of Yahweh, the God of Israel, of the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, the Hebrew word for Egypt is Mitzrayim, which is one of the sons of Ham, which is how we translate, it comes down to Egypt, okay? Now, you got to understand that the word Egypt and what it translates to, or the word Mitzrayim, translates to bondage, restriction, confinement, limitation, okay? All right. So, with ships. Now, what was the primary mechanism that was used in the transatlantic slave trade? Ships. Now, let's go ahead and go to a little bit of geography. For those of you that can pull up a map and look at where Egypt lies and where Israel lies, there is no huge body of water that separates Egypt from Israel. And as a matter of fact, the body of water that is there, which is the Suez Canal, is a man-made canal, okay? That was not there in ancient times. So the people could have just as easily been kowtowed, tied up, bound, and walked. Okay, they could have been walked into Egypt, right? Okay, so this is letting us know that this is a prophecy of something that was, when this was written, it was a prophecy of something that was supposed to happen in the distant future, okay? All right, so Deuteronomy 28:68 once again, and the Lord, Yahweh, shall bring thee into Egypt bondage, again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. In other words, exactly how I told you that it's going to happen is how it's going to happen, okay? Thou shalt see it no more. So one of the things that we have to understand is that the word Egypt, or Egypt here, is not just a geographical location in North Africa, okay? This is talking about a condition of confinement and restriction. It doesn't matter where any of the 12 tribes are, we're going to see a lot of the same conditions be placed onto our people, okay? All right. So exactly how I said that it was going to happen, that's how it's going to happen, okay? Moving down, thou shalt see it no more. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen, meaning a slave man, and bondwoman, meaning a slave woman. Bond, the word bond meaning bound, as in bind, tied up, restricted. And no man shall buy you, meaning that no other nation of people, no other national group of people is actually going to help us. And as we have seen, and there is proof that the other nations of people actually help and aid the primary oppressor, right? Okay, so these things are very specific to a group of people, okay? As I promised, I said I was going to go to verse 37. So we're in Deuteronomy 28, verse 37, okay? So go ahead and turn over and, search it up on your Google or whatever you got to do. Here we go. Oh, and I might re-emphasize that we were sold unto our enemies. Didn't say our friends, okay? Keep that in mind. All right, moving on to Deuteronomy 28:37. Okay, and I'm going to be briefly explaining some of the concepts in the verse as we go so that it can be comprehensive. All right, so we're at 37. Here we go. And thou shalt be an astonishment. Aren't we an astonishment to the world? Who are our top athletes? Remember, in the NBA and the NFL were not originally black in their origin. Is that right? Meaning that when these leagues were formed, when these associations were formed, it was primarily who? It was the YT people that were playing in those leagues, right? But then we are the astonishment. We became the draw to the whole sport, to the whole league. Isn't that correct? That's an astonishment. Who else is an astonishment? Michael Jackson. Ain't he making chicks faint in these other third world countries? Or he did, at least when he was live, rest in peace. Who else is an astonishment? A Michael Jordan? A Michael Tyson? Right? These are things we draw the attention around the world over. There is no other country or national group that draws that much attention. I've actually traveled around the world just to come and see that people are rocking their hats like us, turning the hat to the back. Now, where did that style come from? They take the baseball cap, turn the thing, cock it all kinds of other different ways, right? Because our people have that influence. We are an astonishment around the world. Mind you, we came up out of captivity just to have this much influence on the world. Came up out of chattel slavery to have this much influence on the world over. All right, let me go ahead and get to moving with this verse because I'm trying to keep the video short. All right, so, and thou shalt become an astonishment. That's exactly what we are. A proverb. What is a proverb? Something like, black folks is lazy. Black people ain't never gonna get it together. 12% of the population commits 50% of the crimes. All right? What's another proverb? You have a victim mentality. Right? These are proverbs that have been projected onto our people. So we'll become a proverb and a byword. What is a byword? Bywords are things like African American, black colored, Negro, right? In other places, they would have called us Abid, right? Or Jarir, or Akata. Isn't that correct? Yep. What else would they call us? Another by name. What are the Dalits? The Harijans? Right? In other places. So no matter where we are on the face of the earth, there is always some derogatory term associated with our people, wherever we may be. At different times in classical periods, they called us Moors, right? They called us Amazigh, Berbers. Isn't that correct? Yes, that North African empire that was built, right, has its origins with the Israelite people. And even then, we had a lot of influence. No matter where you go, or no matter at what time period you go into, guys, this is directly describing our people, and we have to understand that the book is written by Israelites and addressed to Israelites, okay? And mind you, these were prophecies, meaning that these things were said thousands of years ago as to something that would be projected and happen in the distant future, okay? So, let's go ahead and finish the verse up, keeping this video short, relatively. Okay, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord Yahweh shall lead thee. And this alludes to the concept that our people, all 12 tribes, were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, either carried away as captives or seeking refuge or fleeing from persecution. Okay? So I hope that makes some things clear. I might be covering some other portions of Deuteronomy 28, maybe from the blessings up to verse 15. And I'll be reading throughout there just so that you guys can get it, an understanding of some things. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful and that this added to your degree of knowledge concerning our book, the 12 Tribes of Israel. Okay? And until next time, you guys, peace. Thanks for listening if you've made it up this far. All right, out.